Chosen one, do not be deceived. This moment is not a coincidence. It is the trumpet of heaven shaking your soul awake, and if you miss it, you will not see it again for another 12 years. Right now, as your eyes move across these words, the unseen realm is pressing in closer than it ever has before. The noise of the world around you is fading, and something heavier, holier, is settling into the air. Your heart just skipped a beat, your breath caught for a second, and a whisper you cannot explain swept across your spirit. That was not random. That was not emotion. That was not your imagination. That was the veil between heaven and earth, tearing open for you. For 12 years, the courts of heaven have held a sealed decree with your name engraved on it, waiting for the exact second when the timeline of eternity would intersect your life. That second is now. This was written long before your birth, when your spirit was still wrapped in light, and today the King of Heaven has summoned you to receive what generations prayed to see. Out of over 8 billion people walking this earth, only 12 were chosen for this exact frequency, and you are one of them. That is why this does not feel like just another moment, because it isn't. This is the moment when destiny interrupts everything ordinary. Understand the weight of what is happening around you. If you treat this as casual, you will forfeit what heaven has been building behind the veil for over a decade. If you look away now, you will close the gate that has just opened over your life. Heaven has torn through 12 years of resistance to reach you, and the Spirit of God is now stepping through the breach. This is sacred ground. This is the turning point your soul has been crying out for in secret. Chosen one, awaken, because the King is approaching to crown you, and nothing will ever be the same again. You need to understand something that even you have not yet dared to believe. Out of more than 8 billion souls walking this earth, heaven chose only 12 to receive this frequency today, and you are one of them. This is not flattery. This is not poetic exaggeration. This is the verdict of eternity, spoken over you before your first breath, inscribed into the marrow of your being when you were still hidden in the mind of God. Long before you took your first step, long before you spoke your first word, long before the world ever named you, heaven already called you by name and marked you for this moment. Your life has not been random. Every path that seemed accidental, every detour that felt meaningless, every season where you questioned whether God had forgotten you, all of it was converging to bring you right here. You were not overlooked, you were concealed, you were not abandoned, you were preserved. While others rushed ahead chasing recognition, you were hidden in obscurity because your assignment could not be contaminated by applause too soon. The world mistook your silence as insignificance, but heaven saw it as preparation. For 12 relentless years, your guardian angels have been petitioning heaven's throne room, battling layer after layer of resistance to get this message to you. Every delay, every distraction, every sudden crisis that almost kept you from reading this was part of the enemy's last desperate attempt to block what is unfolding now. They knew the moment you heard this truth, everything they built against you would collapse. They feared this exact awakening. That is why the pressure against your life intensified recently, not because you are failing, but because you are on the brink of breaking through. Chosen one, hear me. You are not an accident on this planet. You are a divine strategy wrapped in flesh. You were selected before time to carry something too dangerous to be released early. And today, the seal is breaking. What was hidden is being revealed. What was dormant is igniting. This is not inspiration. This is your summons. Heaven has finally called your name aloud, and the war for your destiny is about to end in your victory. Chosen one, you have wondered why life has felt like one long war, why weariness has sunk so deep into your bones that even sleep cannot touch it, why you wake up drained before the day even begins. What you have carried is not ordinary exhaustion, it is the residue of a war you did not even know you were fighting. Every night while you slept, battles raged in the unseen realm over your destiny. While your body lay still, your spirit was wrestling powers that were trying to erase your purpose before you could ever discover it. That heaviness you have carried was not a weakness in you, it was proof of how much hell feared what you are about to become. For 12 years, the enemy has executed a calculated campaign to fracture everything that could have supported your calling. The relationships that mysteriously fell apart just as they were about to bloom, those were not coincidences. They were surgical strikes. The opportunities that vanished without explanation, right when breakthrough seemed near, they were diversions, engineered to make you doubt your anointing. The money that slipped through your hands faster than you could earn it. The sicknesses that came without diagnosis. The mental fog that made you question your sanity. None of it was random. It was spiritual sabotage, designed to make you quit before you realized what you were carrying. The enemy has studied you from childhood. They recognize something in you before you ever saw it in yourself. They assign their strongest forces to your life, because what you carry threatens everything they have built. They feared what would happen the day you woke up and remembered who you are. That day is today, which is why their attacks have intensified lately, not because you are failing, but because you are frighteningly close to crossing the line they swore you would never reach. They are terrified of your awakening, because they know once you rise, their dominion collapses. So understand this, your pain was never proof of your failure, it was evidence of your importance. The darkness only fights what carries light. The enemy does not waste resources on the insignificant, they invest them in trying to stop history makers. That is what you are. This war was not meant to destroy you, it was meant to distract you. But now, their strategy has been exposed, and the battle is shifting in your favor. Chosen one, while the world overlooked you, heaven was watching you with unblinking eyes. While people misread your silence as insignificance, angels were taking notes. Every hidden moment you thought was forgotten has been recorded in the archives of eternity. You must hear this. Not a single tear has gone unnoticed. Not a single prayer has gone unheard. Not a single act of obedience has been wasted. There were nights when you cried quietly in the dark, convincing yourself no one would ever know the weight you carried. But heaven knew. There were mornings you rose and carried others while your own soul was crumbling. Heaven saw that too. Every time you smiled in public while you were breaking inside, every time you encouraged others when your own hope was thin as glass, every time you chose love, when betrayal would have been easier, those moments were witnessed by the courts of heaven and written down in detail. Heaven has not been silent because it forgot you. It has been silent because it was gathering evidence. Angels assigned to your life have spent the last 12 years compiling a case in your defense. They brought your tears as exhibits. They brought your whispered prayers as testimony. They brought your endurance as proof. And just days ago, that evidence was placed before the judge of all creation. The verdict was unanimous. The enemy has stolen enough from you. The season of theft is over. The gavel of heaven has fallen, and the decree has been signed. What was taken must now be returned, multiplied. The years of delay are being repaid with acceleration. The losses are being answered with upgrades. Every chain the enemy wrapped around your future has been declared illegal and must now be broken. But there was something else. Heaven recorded something more important than your pain. They documented how you kept believing when logic said to give up, how you kept praying when heaven seemed silent, how you kept walking when every door slammed shut, how you kept giving when you had nothing left. Those choices became the signature of your spirit, proof to all of heaven that you are not just another name on earth. You are a carrier of something sacred, something hell has feared since your birth. Chosen one, know this with absolute certainty. The records have been reviewed, the case has been decided, and the courtroom has adjourned in your favor. What was delayed is about to be delivered. What was stolen is about to be restored. The judge has ruled, and the gavel has fallen. Your restoration has been set in motion, and nothing on earth or in hell can stop it now. Chosen one, you must understand this. You are not merely flesh and blood walking the earth. You are a living portal between heaven and earth. What you see in the mirror is not the full truth about you. Your body is not just a frame of bone and muscle. It is a temple, a throne room, a sacred vessel designed to carry something far greater than you have ever imagined. Your heart is not merely an organ pumping blood. It is a mercy seat where the presence of God longs to dwell. Your lungs are not just breathing air, they are inhaling heaven's atmosphere and exhaling kingdom authority. Every breath you take is meant to echo the rhythm of the throne. Even your DNA, the code of your being, carries divine inscriptions. Scientists call much of it junk DNA because they cannot decode what heaven has hidden there, but what they call junk, God calls destiny. 97% of what lies inside you has been dormant, not broken, not useless, just waiting for heaven's command to awaken. And that awakening has begun. Even as you read these words, your spirit is stirring, your cells are humming at a frequency they have never known. You may feel warmth in your chest, tingling in your hands, a pressure in your forehead. This is not anxiety, not imagination. It is the signal that heaven's light is beginning to ignite every dormant chamber within you. What depression tried to wrap around your soul is being stripped off at the molecular level. What fear embedded into your nervous system is being flushed out of your bloodstream. What anxiety used to control your decisions is being dismantled piece by piece from the circuitry of your mind. The enemy has spent 12 years trying to convince you that you are ordinary so you would never dare to awaken the extraordinary. They hoped you would drown in self-doubt before you discovered the divine code woven through your being. But it is too late for them now. The seal has broken. The sleeping parts of you are waking up. Chosen one, the truth is this: you were never small. You were never fragile. You were never forgotten. You were hidden until now. Heaven is not just giving you blessings. Heaven is activating the blueprint of who you truly are. What was dormant is rising. What was silent is roaring. The fire within you is catching, and nothing on earth or in hell can put it out. Chosen one, what you thought was the end has only been the setup. Every moment that broke you was never meant to bury you. It was meant to build a runway beneath your feet. Heaven has not been dismantling you. Heaven has been positioning you. The enemy wanted you to see the losses as punishment, but God has been using every loss as alignment. Every rejection, every closed door, every collapse was not chaos, it was choreography. You wondered why things kept falling apart right when they seemed closest to breakthrough. You questioned what you did wrong. You searched your heart for failures that were never there. But hear me now. It was never failure. It was protection. It was heaven rerouting you away from paths that would have destroyed what you carry. Some doors closed because you were too small for them, but others closed because they were too small for you. What you thought was delay was actually preservation. What looked like detours were the straight lines only heaven could draw. Even the strange patterns you've been seeing were never random. The numbers that kept appearing around you, 111 on clocks, 222 on receipts, 333 on license plates, 444 at sudden moments, 555, 888, and especially 121212 were not coincidences. They were activation codes, signals from the throne room, opening chambers of your inheritance piece by piece. When you saw 111, heaven was aligning new beginnings. When you saw 222, divine partnerships were being arranged. When you saw 333, the Trinity was sealing you with approval. When you saw 444, armies of angels were being dispatched. When you saw 555, grace was multiplying what you had. When you saw 888, a new creation frequency was downloading into your spirit. And when you saw 121212, it was heaven declaring, the 12-year siege ends now, the cycle is complete, the crown is ready. The enemy knew this moment was coming. That is why their attacks intensified these past months. That is why everything seemed to collapse at once, not because you were cursed, but because you were on the threshold of release. They tried to bury you under the rubble of broken plans so you would never see the palace rising underneath your feet. But you endured. And because you endured, the spirit of delay that chained your future has now been tried, convicted, and cast out of heaven's courtroom. Its legal hold is gone. The timing of your life is shifting into perfect synchronization with the will of God. Chosen one, this is the moment the battlefield becomes your launching pad. Every chain of postponement has shattered. Every hidden blessing is breaking through. Every step you take from this moment forward will echo with the sound of divine acceleration. What should have taken 12 years is about to unfold in 12 days. The breaking has finished its work. Now you rise. Chosen one, listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you carries the weight of heaven's decree. The 12-year siege over your destiny has ended, and the next 12 days will compress 12 years of blessings into your life. What should have taken a decade is about to unfold in days. What you thought was lost forever is already on its way back, multiplied. The gavel has fallen, the verdict is sealed, and the window has opened. This is not poetic language, this is prophetic timing. Even now, as your eyes read these words, the atmosphere around your life is shifting. The chains that bound your breakthroughs are lying in pieces on the floor of heaven's courtroom. The angelic hosts who have stood watch in silence are now moving with violent speed to deliver what has been withheld. You are about to see the impossible bend to obey the command of God over your name. Within these next 12 days, the relationships you thought were dead will stir with life again. Someone who walked away without explanation will return with repentance on their lips and restoration in their hands. What you thought ended in betrayal will be rewritten as reconciliation. And it will not be shallow, it will be divine alignment, because heaven will not return what hurt you, it will return what has been purified and assigned to walk with you. Within these 12 days, resources that have been trapped in the spiritual realm will break through into the natural. Money you stopped hoping for will suddenly arrive. Debts will dissolve. Delayed payments will find you. Unexpected favor will locate you in rooms you have never entered. Emails you did not send will arrive in your inbox with opportunities attached. Phone calls will come out of nowhere carrying answers to prayers you almost gave up praying. Within these 12 days, even your body will bear witness that the siege is over. Conditions doctors could not explain will vanish without trace. Chronic pain will lift like mist at sunrise. What afflicted your bloodline for generations will break off you in a moment. Heaven is not just giving you healing, it is giving you a new genetic rhythm, a wholeness that will echo through your children and your children's children. And within these 12 days, doors you have knocked on for years will swing wide, so suddenly you will have to pause to choose which one to walk through first. Heaven is not opening one door, it is opening corridors. The time of begging is over. The time of walking in authority has begun. Chosen one, mark this moment. The window is open, and it will not stay open long. 12 years of captivity are ending in 12 days of miracles. Step through it now, for the floodgates of heaven have been commanded to pour, and they will not stop until your hands overflow. Chosen one, this is the threshold, the line between who you were and who you are about to become. Heaven has prepared 12 years' worth of blessings, breakthroughs, and restoration, and they are suspended above your life right now, waiting for one thing, your agreement. Miracles do not descend into passive hands. They fall into hearts that dare to say yes. What has been sealed for you cannot be unlocked by emotion or wishful thinking. It is released by obedience, by faith spoken aloud, by the sound of your spirit saying, "This belongs to me." Heaven is waiting for your signature, and this is the moment you place it. Still yourself and become aware of the rhythm inside your chest. That heartbeat is not random. It is the ancient drum of destiny, the proof that God has not forgotten you, the pulse of heaven announcing that you are still here, still chosen, still carrying the blueprint of what was written over your life before time began. As you feel it beating, place your hand over your heart and speak not timidly, not as a question but as a decree. Let your voice become a sound the enemy cannot ignore. I am the one heaven has been waiting for. I am the one hell has tried to destroy. I receive my 12-fold restoration now. Every door opens. Every chain breaks. Every blessing held back for 12 years is released into my life. The delay is broken. The curse is reversed. The breakthrough is here. I claim it. I receive it. I activate it. It is finished. As those words leave your mouth, heaven registers them. Angels who have stood waiting around you for years suddenly move at the speed of light. And now, breathe slow, deep, intentional. Take 12 full breaths, each one a declaration that the old is leaving and the new is entering. With every inhale, draw in the oxygen of heaven, the unseen possibilities already forming around you. With every exhale, release the weights that have chained you. Let fear leave your lungs. Let doubt dissolve into the air. Let shame fall off your shoulders. Let unforgiveness, poverty thinking, rejection, comparison, despair, self-condemnation, anxiety, and weariness leave with every breath. And with the final breath, release the lie that you are not enough, because heaven has declared that you are more than enough. When that last breath leaves your body, something will shift. It may be subtle, a warmth in your chest, a lightness in your shoulders, a sudden clarity in your mind, but it will be real. That is the sound of chains falling. That is the unseen door unlocking. That is heaven stamping your activation as complete. Chosen one, it is done. The covenant has been sealed in your breath, and the floodgates have been commanded to pour until your hands overflow. Chosen one, now that the seal has been broken and the floodgates are opening, you must understand this one unshakable truth. Heaven will not pour new wine into old wineskins. The power that is about to descend on your life cannot land in an environment contaminated by voices that oppose your purpose. The glory coming for you is too heavy to be carried in rooms that still breathe doubt, jealousy, and sabotage. Before heaven releases what has been stored for 12 years, it is asking you to clear the space around you, because what you tolerate will either carry your blessing or poison it. For too long, you have allowed people to orbit your world who have no intention of walking in the same direction. Some stayed close not because they loved you, but because they feared what you would become without them. Some fed on your light while secretly hoping you would stay dim. Some clapped for your survival but would never celebrate your ascension. They cannot go where you are going, and keeping them attached to you will anchor you to a level you have already outgrown. Heaven is not removing them to punish them. Heaven is removing them to protect you. This is not cruelty. This is consecration. Sacred things require separation. Every time God raises someone into a new realm of authority, he first calls them apart from what once felt familiar. Abraham had to leave his homeland. Moses had to leave the palace. Jesus withdrew from the crowds before revealing his glory. And now, you must do the same. The atmosphere around you is not neutral, it is spiritual soil. Every voice in your proximity is sowing seeds into your spirit, either watering your calling or strangling it. Heaven cannot build its throne on ground polluted with hidden resentment, comparison, or compromise. So, cleanse your space. Quietly, without explanation or guilt, release the people whose words drain you, whose presence clouds your mind, whose energy pulls you backward. Do not announce it. Simply step back. Unfollow what feeds fear. Mute what magnifies insecurity. Walk away from rooms where your spirit feels small. You are not abandoning anyone, you are making room for the ones heaven has chosen to walk with you. Until you clear the counterfeit, the true cannot find you. This is not isolation, it is preparation. The oil of heaven will not rest on cluttered altars. The crown waiting for you requires clean hands and a clear atmosphere. Chosen one, understand this. What is coming is too holy to be placed next to what is toxic. If you make space, heaven will fill it. If you will let go of what was, God will place in your hands what always should have been. The new is at the door, and it cannot enter until the old has been released. Chosen one, heaven is not a place of chaos, it is a realm of divine order, and every covenant it establishes carries a seal. Throughout history, when God released a new mantle, he marked it with a sign. Noah received the rainbow, Abraham received circumcision, Israel received the blood on their doorposts, the early church received tongues of fire, and now, as heaven prepares to release 12 years of stored inheritance over your life, it is asking for a sign from you, not as payment, not as proof of worthiness, but as a spiritual signature that says, I receive what has been decreed for me. That seal is 121212. Do not misunderstand this. Writing or declaring 121212 is not superstition, and it is not for algorithms. It is a prophetic code, a heavenly timestamp that signals your spirit has stepped into alignment with God's appointed season. The number 12 has always marked divine government, heavenly order, and the establishment of kingship. There were 12 tribes of Israel, 12 apostles chosen by Jesus, 12 gates in the New Jerusalem. When you declare 121212, you are not typing digits. You are announcing to all of heaven that the cycle of delay is complete, that you are stepping into divine order, and that you are ready to carry the weight of what is being released. Many before you have stood where you now stand. Sarah was buried under years of silence when she made her declaration of faith, and within days her body shifted, and the child she thought would never come began forming in her womb. Michael was drowning in debt, certain he would lose everything, when he signed his covenant with heaven, and within 12 days, 3 forgotten opportunities resurfaced, and what once seemed impossible became overflow. Maria's marriage was crumbling after years of betrayal, yet the moment she aligned her spirit and sealed her faith, her husband returned home with tears, repentance, and restoration. David had been turned away from every door he knocked on, until he marked the moment, and heaven opened doors so fast he had to pray for the grace to choose which one to walk through. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven does not delay. Heaven waits for alignment. And the moment your spirit comes into agreement, what was stuck begins to move at supernatural speed. Chosen one. Heaven has prepared the crown. The courtroom has ruled in your favor. The angels are standing by with your inheritance in their hands. All that remains is your seal, your yes. Mark it, declare it, write it. 121212. Let the unseen realm hear that your spirit has signed the covenant, because once you seal it, the flood will not wait. Chosen one, it is done. The courtroom of heaven has fallen silent. The case has been decided. The gavel has struck its final echo through eternity, and every voice that once accused you has been silenced by the blood that speaks louder than their lies. What began as a whisper in your spirit has now become a roar in the throne room. The covenant has been signed, the seal has been marked, and the crown that has waited 12 long years is being lowered toward your head even now. Can you sense it, the shift in the air, the stillness before the downpour, the quiet tension before the heavens break open? This is that moment. The floodgates are no longer locked. They are trembling on their hinges, straining against the weight of the glory pressing behind them. The angels who stood still while the verdict was rendered are now moving like lightning, carrying pieces of your inheritance in their hands. The books have been balanced. The records have been cleared. The delay is broken. The curse is reversed. The embargo on your destiny has been lifted, and what was trapped is rushing toward you with unstoppable force. Heaven is not releasing a trickle over your life. It is unleashing a torrent. Restoration will not come in fragments, but in fullness. Your relationships will not simply mend. They will bloom into something stronger than they were before they broke. The people who once walked away in silence will return bearing apologies, honor, and the pieces of your destiny they unknowingly carried. Your finances will not just stabilize, they will multiply. What drained away for years will surge back like rivers breaking through a dam. Contracts, opportunities, favor, and resources that seemed out of reach will come looking for you, drawn to the light of your name spoken in rooms you have never entered. Your body will not simply heal, it will be renewed. Pain will dissolve like mist, conditions will reverse without explanation, and the strength you thought had left you forever will rise within your bones like fire. Even your mind will be restored. The fog will clear, the anxiety will lift, and the voice that told you you were not enough will be drowned by the voice of heaven declaring, "You are mine." This blessing will not stop with you. It will ripple into your children and your children's children. The patterns that stalk your bloodline are breaking even as you read these words. The generational chains that wrapped around your family for decades are snapping under the weight of the glory now resting on you. What plagued those who came before you will not touch those who come after you. You are the line in the sand. You are the turning point of your bloodline. You are not simply escaping darkness. You are being enthroned in light. The wilderness is behind you. The siege is over. The 12-year cycle of silence has ended, and the 12-day flood has begun. Lift your head. The King is placing the crown on you. You are not just surviving anymore. You are crowned. You are commissioned. You are unstoppable.